Welcome everybody back to Sarah Straight Up, the podcast where we go beyond titles and we talk real life. We talk stories, we talk philosophies, and we talk about turning points that have shaped leaders. Today, I'm honoured to be joined by a gentleman whose name has become synonymous with legal excellence both within this region, in the UAE and internationally, Dr. Mahmood Hussain. The founding partner of M&CO Legal, a well-known established law firm in the UAE, a ICC Court Member and the chair of the ICC in the UAE, an adjunct professor and a leader whose vision has shaped both the legal and arbitration hubs and community regionally and has an influence internationally. From being involved in establishing the DIFC Courts to representing clients internationally across institutions, Mr. Mahmood's career is a masterclass in discipline, purpose, and innovation. Today we're here to hear the real story of how this gentleman has got to where he is today and to cut out the fluff. Dr. Mahmood, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you,
We're
Sarah.
very honoured.
Thank you very much, and it's a pleasure to be with you.
Dr. Mahmood, I want you to take it back. I want to rewind back to your youth, and I want you to tell our audience how you were raised. I know that you were raised by a single mum, and you've worked very, very hard to be where you are today. I'd like you to, in your own words, give us some background of your early days and how that shaped who you are today.
I think this is the first time somebody asked me this question, and I think this is very important for the audience to know. As a Emirati, we have our own struggle, our own challenge that we overcome over there. I was raised by a single mother who had 7 boys and 2 girls. So you're having roughly 9.
Mashallah.
And you are a single mother and you are a cleaner at a school. So basically you have minimum income in order to support everybody. So what she has done actually, and along with that, she was working, she was going at night to school to study because she wanted to learn how to write and read so she can help her children in their study. It was financially was struggling, but we were a very happy family. But I learned a lot of values from my mom. She was straightforward and she didn't have. She always would come to us and say, be straight, don't go around, say what you feel and tell me and stand up for what you want, because she had limited resource, limited time because she's working and coming after her work, staying with us, cooking and staying with us. And then at night she would go for night school. We call it دراسة المسائية, which is, I don't think it exists now, but those days what exists in order for to take a lot of Emiratis people who didn't have opportunity to study. So it was very challenging financially, and it was very challenging everything. So basically, it was fight on the resource with your siblings.
That's fascinating and very inspiring, Dr. Mahmood, to see where you started from and where you are today. Your mother must have played a huge role in being a role model in your life.
I think she played a huge role model, and she was helping us. By the way, my mother has bipolar because she went through all of those challenges impacted her. But we are supporting her. But I'm so proud of her and
Of course.
mother to do all of that. It's amazing. I can't believe that I can do what she has done.
And God bless all the mums. Now, you went to university, and tell me back in those days, as an Emirati entering university, how was that? How did that shape you, and what did you have any challenges or struggles at that stage?
It was a struggle for me because financially my mom told me I cannot support you. You either do like what a lot of Emirati at that stage would do, they will work at police, they will go for police or armies because they have a job, and they wouldn't go. And this is one, and she didn't have financial. And the second thing, I didn't have a role model in my family to tell me what to do in the university. I heard one of my friends, he said to me, where are you going? Which university? I said, I don't know the people that they will go to university. Because my neighborhood, none of them went to university. Maybe I had one person I know, he went to university. And so basically what happens, I had to figure out by myself what I want to do.
What made you different? You come from a neighborhood where all people around you are not going to university, or you're not in that kind of background, but you wanted to pursue that. You wanted to go there. What drove you?
I think it was my mother again because she was struggling to take us from a lower class to the middle class, which is most of the Emirati, the government was having a lot of support program to take them to that level. So basically one. And second thing, she always push us to find a good friend from other neighborhood, from, for example, a school. She wouldn't take us the school near home. She would take other school because she believes that there is a good people, not good people who has better opportunity for reflection, presentations, and all of that, and from family that has been educated for us for years. So that's why we went with those friends, and they influenced me.
And I think that's absolutely correct. And to all our listeners who are listening, there's a saying, show me your friends, I'll show you your future.
Sure.
You are the sum of the 5 people you hang out with the most. So I think, and now even as parents, we keep an eye on who our children are hanging out with because it shapes where you go in life.
I agree.
Now, Dr. Mahmood, from your early days and the amazing story you've told us, which is very inspirational, your university, you then graduate, and as a very young individual in your 20s, you're working with His Highness, and you're working across with police, with institutions. How do you land in that role, and how do you deal with that at such a young age?
I think I was called to work for the executive office of His Highness, and I was working in a policy and strategy, and I was entrusted to handle security and justice strategy. It was new idea. It was transformative idea for UAE government to know first time about the strategy. So they didn't know about it. So I have to learn. I didn't know about the strategy as well. So I had to learn with a consultant, with my bosses. And then I would go to police. I meet chief of police. I meet other department. I work with them behind the scene and helping them. But I was very young. I was fragile. I didn't know. But I had the confidence because the leadership gave us this confidence that you go and do it. So I had the confidence with me, but I was as well scared dealing with the chief of police. They were very nice people, but the thing is, I was young, I didn't know, and we started to do it, and it was successful. And in that office, I knew every idea matter. The leader looked to the idea. They respected the idea. There is a lot of idea. Every day I have seen many idea. I have to research them. I have to give idea about them. I have to have opinion. The short deadline. So it was like it was hub. It was creative hub, the executive office. And you have a leader who will listen to you and you have opportunity to present to him. So basically that was something for me is a fascinating, which shaped my career.
And obviously working under pressure and the deadlines and everything you've told us about. And I think generally your life story shows me you've always been outside your comfort zone. And I think that's what determines success. When we stay in a comfort zone, we're comfortable with what we're doing, we never know how capable we are. But you've always challenged yourself and come outside of your comfort zone and learned and continue to learn. Do you think it's very important to our viewers, our listeners, to always challenge and come outside of what you think you can do and push yourself?
I think you will not discover yourself or explore other side of yourself unless you are in a struggle, you are in challenge, you are in a short time. All of that determine that you have skills. Human beings are created to have superpower, but the superpower is not used by us because we're using 10 or 15% of our brain or 20%. So basically, when you are in that time, you would see the pressure come on you, and then you will start exploring, you'll be more advancing, and you will bring all of those skills. So my love has been always under short time, under less resources, challenge. In executive office, I remember one time I asked my boss and His Excellency Mohammed Al Gargay, when is the deadline? He said yesterday. So it's like like you have to
You
work
have to
quickly.
just work quickly. Now, that's fantastic advice. And obviously, a self-made individual, I think sometimes is a misconception from everybody about Emiratis are everybody's so rich, everybody's living a great life, everybody's handed everything on a plate. But your story really one is of resilience and one you've built yourself. You weren't handed anything. You've built your career, you've built your reputation, you've built your law firm.
I think people really there is a misconception. But look to our leader, Sheikh Mohammed Barraj. Look at his picture. He's on the camel. He doesn't look like rich or all that. He went through his struggle. He went through his challenge. To build this was not easy for Emiratis. To build this country with the people who didn't have education is not easy. To take a generation from literacy to university to teach in UK, for example. I teach in UK. I teach in East Anglia. I teach in Barido. All of that is not easy, by the way. And imagine how much challenge he had, Sheikh Mohammed, Sheikh Zayed, Sheikh Raj, all of those great leaders to transform those people from here to take them to that. And this is a challenge. They have the challenge. We have our challenge. They are not in comfort zone. Working with them, pushing somebody young coming, working with. I was not with. I didn't have experience. They trusted me and they pushed me. And that's a challenge as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And they take a blind trust on people. But look at the vision of the country and where we are today for such a relatively young country. I want to move to where we are today, and you have built through M&CO one of the most respected legal practices in the UAE. We all look up to you as a leader. But you've also been a contributor to the evolution of the country's entire framework. You've talked about how you started off working in your 20s in the executive office. Let me ask you, what drew you to law specifically when you went to university or as a career?
I think what draws me into the law, I thought when I was younger age, there were not a lot of social support for women like my mother and all of that, single mother. And this evolved today. There is a lot of privilege for women in this society, being taking leadership, having a lot of social support program, university, equal right. But this evolved over years. So basically, I have seen that, and this is what draws me to the justice, to the law, how to we can make law or help us in law to help us to be better, to create a better place.
You were involved in the very early stages, both in Dubai Courts and in the DIFC, and I want to talk a little bit about that because you don't only develop or practice law, you've been at the forefront of putting frameworks together, and that's difficult in itself. So take us back to how it was in those days. And
I think for me, it's when I was called to work in the IFC, and I was like shocked because we didn't have office. There were no this building, gate
when was
building.
this?
It was at because Emirates Tower. So we were in the hotel. Our office was four office in the
Which
hotel.
year are we talking about? Do you remember?
I think 2002,
Oh
2001.
wow, a long time ago.
And there were no building, and everything was a plan.
Mm-hmm.
We're so excited sitting with the people. We're telling them, okay, will be gate building, and I haven't seen it. And you explain to them, this will be DIFC. And I was always seeing people like question mark.
Yeah.
How are you gonna do
How you gonna do?
DIFC? How are you gonna do mall?
Yeah.
How are you gonna do that and all of that? So people had a doubt. So this is what's my experience. From there, when we went to gate building, for me it was fascinating. First time to be in high-rise building, such a beautiful building, and sitting. And we didn't have all of those coffee shop. There were only Starbucks, small Starbucks down. And we had, when we want to have a lunch, for example, we have to go cross the street and walk.
There was no Deliveroo in those
No,
days.
no Deliveroo those days.
Yeah.
And that was, and then I entrusted to make the registrar of the company. So basically, I was with my boss, who was American lawyer Dean Ferris, and he entrusted me to help. And I have seen all of those consultants coming and helping us, some professional individual. But the good thing about the IFC was Emirati has to be trained.
Yeah.
So I was trained with the registrar. Then there came a better opportunity to be deputy registrar of the IFC Courts, where I was working with the legendary Michael Wang, Sir Anthony Evans, and I was young, and I was seeing them. I seen their ideas where Sir Anthony even want to experiment putting arbitration, court, mediation in the same place, giving option for the people, giving accessibility. He came with the idea bringing that common law to this part of the world, and I think he had the same challenge as well. Nobody believed him that he can set up a new common law court in Arabic speaking country.
No, it's phenomenal the way they've done that and the evolution. What I really liked, Dr. Mahmood, I honestly didn't even know that you were the deputy registrar until we did our homework and research on you for this. And that just goes to show how humble you are. I know you very well, but you've never talked about it or raised it or flexed about it. But you've been instrumental in helping lay down foundations. That must have been a huge responsibility. And how did that feel when you were so young?
When I was so young, I honestly speaking, I was scared. I don't know about the common law. I came from civil law. I meeting those legendaries, lawyers. I met Michael Black, for example. He came to draft for us the rule of the courts. Tom Montsmith was as well his juniors. So imagine all of those cases. I'm meeting them, and I'm junior. I'm listening to them, and I'm not talking even, because one thing I did right, I was very humble. So I was not talking. I was listening more
And learning.
and learning than contributing.
Yeah.
So I was doing certain tasks and all of that. So I've seen all of those regulation. But the challenge is when you put the court, you think it's not a building. It's rules, it's procedures, it's IT, it's HR, it's everything.
It's a whole
And so
ecosystem. Yeah.
ecosystem. So basically, building ecosystem is not easy, by the way. It's not easy when you are asked how you will the server where it will be located. It is a small question,
Yeah,
but you want to have a privacy.
of course.
You want to protect of data from the authorities. So all of those simple question and simple challenge keep you thinking all night.
Just from moving to your practice, moving to what you do, you've always said that you prefer resolution, conflict resolution over confrontation. And you have a very unique mix. Sometimes arbitrators are just arbitrators, they've never litigated. Mediators are just mediators. I litigate and arbitrate, but you do so much more. You litigate, arbitrate, and mediate, which is a rare combination, but shows how kind of involved in dispute resolution generally you are. What shifts your mindset and how you're able to switch from arguing a case to resolving a case?
I think because when you look, usually lawyers start with a legal firm and they continue and then become general counsel. My evaluation was different. I started with DIFC, with the registrar of the company, going to the court, working at the executive office of his highness in different fields, policy and strategy. Then moving to do telecom, being vice president, board relation, corporate governance, and compliance, doing all of that, studying. So the mixed experience, and then working as well in New York and DLA Piper for 2 years, and mentoring by great lawyers there, like Anthony Coles, who was deputy mayor of New York. So basically, this mixed experience, and then coming being a lawyer. So that has given me broader horizon. I understand when I was working with Do Telecom, I was at the board, I was secretary to the board. So I would have seen the discussion in the board level. I have seen the culture conflict. I have seen how people navigate. I have seen a CEO who's a French Lebanese dealing with the Marathis. I was able to convince the chairman that we need a female at the board in order for us to mitigate the risk, which I've seen the leader were like, okay, yes, let's bring females. So the first thing was the company secretary. I said, assistant company secretary has to be female. So we brought female. We started to bring to the board. So seeing all of that, experimenting that, and having leader who is perceptive, who will take it and embrace it and push it. So basically, they never told me no when I come up with a new ideas or learning. So that's helped me to have a better
Well,
understanding
you have a
of.
holistic 360 approach, which
But
is
if you
amazing.
ask me why I become a lawyer, a legal firm, because I was a good lawyer at Do Telecom. When we speak about the good lawyers in the country, they would tell you Habib al Mullah and Assam. And I thought like I'm as well good lawyer,
Of
but
course.
nobody mentioned me. So I have to go on the field and I have to challenge them and I have to have opportunity because I was a competitor raised by single mother. It taught us always to be competitor. We had to fight. So I went to that and I wanted to do something better than them.
And now, alhamdulillah, you're all at the same level and you're all doing really well. So everybody's.
I think, but I was privileged as well because you don't forget, because Isam and Habib, Ali Al-Aidarous, for example, Dr. Hadif, they paved the way for us. For me, it was easy because I was following Isam's step. Then another thing, one of the beautiful thing about Isam and Habib, they mentor and niche. If you call them and said, I need
Oh, they're
help,
fabulous.
they were
Yeah.
fabulous people. They try to help. I remember when I moved to the IFC, I asked Isam about how to do cloud, what is the better. He said, listen, um, I will organize. He brought whole the team of IT sitting with me, teaching me. When I wanted to do partnership, Isam as well, he put me with the nomination committee head and doing all of that. When I opened the office, Isam was there to congratulate me. Habib was there when I started.
Yeah.
Habib
I mean,
was
they
there
are true
always.
leaders. They walk the walk and talk the talk, and I can say that hands down about both of them and yourself,
Oh,
Dr.
thank you.
Mahmood, all of you, and I have the utmost of respect. Tell me, what does advocacy mean to you? It's not just about winning. When you're advocating, when you're taking on someone's cause, what does that mean to you?
So I think when you read the paper, there is story behind it. There is a person whose life is hung on you. If you do a good job, you can help him. Sometimes we're strategically why I like to resolve amicably the dispute, because I see time is money, time is life for some people, because this case will determine their life. They could live happy for the next 2 years, or they could be under stress for 2 3 years. So that's is my back of my mind, and that's why I try to always to resolve it amicably, and always I convince I say to the client, bad peace is better than perfect war.
Perfect. Well, I like that saying. You also sit as an arbitrator. You've also acted in scores of arbitrations globally. What distinguishes, in your mind, an arbitrator who is really effective, truly effective, and who serves justice and human understanding, as opposed to an arbitrator who's just performing a function?
I think one of the things we have to understand, arbitrator is a cultural translator. So he translate the culture in the room. So basically means he should understand the fears. He understand what is people, because sometimes as an arbitrator, you are faced with somebody comes, he speaks fluent English, weak English, a witness who does not speak. So you have to be passionate and understand him, because you cannot because judge him because his English is not good.
Mhm.
And sometimes if I am arbitrator in Arabic, somebody comes, he speaks English, or English is his third language or second language. I shouldn't be when he doesn't know how to answer straight. It doesn't mean he's not. He's trying to think, putting his pressure. So I am translator of culture within the tribunal.
Fantastic. I want to talk now about M&CO. You've built M&Co, and it's a vision that everybody's been very, very proud of. I will say from my side, I remember when I landed in this jurisdiction some 11 years ago. I think about 10 years ago, I just called you. You didn't know me, I didn't know you, but I was making my way in the UAE and I wanted to have a meeting. You were very kind and you met me in Business Bay and we had breakfast. And you didn't need to do that, but you always extended a hand to people who were new and to make sure, and you said to me, if there's anything I can help you with, come and see my offices, just let me know. And I always remember that because I don't forget who walked from the start. What inspired you to build your own practice?
I think one of thing is my wife. Actually, my wife came from a business family, and she always saw. She said, "Listen, Mahmoud, you have a quality of the leader. You love people. You love meeting people, passionate about the people, and this is the quality of a good lawyer." I could believe. I said to her, and she pushed me actually to start my own practice because I was very successful. I was vice president at Telecom. She said to me, Mahmoud, try this. This is you. When I started the practice, I enjoyed it. I felt it's enjoyable every day, different challenge, meeting different people, traveling. And then the challenge was that you juggle two balls or three balls because I attend Dubai court, I argue, and then I argue in DIFC. So different style. So I thought like, oh, it's a very fascinating because one day I'm arguing in DIFC, next day in Dubai court, third day in personal status court when I needed to argue. So that is by itself, it's a learning curve, it's excitement, it's enjoyment.
And what's your USP? You're different to conventional law firms. You wanted to set something up which competes, but you have your own special understanding.
Because I learned from my life that I wanted a place there is less headache, less good lifestyle for the lawyer, I would say. We take small number of the case, but we focused. So we wanted to be boutique because I felt there is no boutique. There is no a firm that bridge gap between international and a local firm. Today you cannot say Habib al Mullah or Tamimi or Hadif are a local firm. They are more regional firm. They are bigger firm. But I wanted to bridge this gap because I felt in the market either you are a local firm or you are international firm. And there is certain thing for international firm. You are as a local firm, you shouldn't do it. For example, you shouldn't be in arbitration. This is for international. Corporate commercial is for international. DIFC, this is for English lawyer. So I wanted to break this taboo and say it's an Emirati court. It's opportunity for all of us, UAE, open it hand for everyone. So why not? I'm as a Marathi, I can practice in the IFC. And it was for me messaging to move from Business Bay to the IFC because we wanted to show that we're working in the IFC. We have a big volume of the cases in the IFC. We have a good arbitration practice. We are winning cases and we are producing good result with competitive price.
Absolutely. And now you're integral to the DFC and the whole system. And I think your law firm and that model is the one that works. And that has to be the way forward where there's that gap bridged between international and local, so you become regional. And because you have the best of both worlds, and working in this jurisdiction, I think you need to understand the law of the land, the culture of the land, and bring the internationalism. And you've done that seamlessly and very, very well with a fantastic team, I know, because I've worked with them. Do you think the future of law lies in firms that act more as strategic partners simply than service providers?
I think because strategic. Why? Because you have a lot of challenge. If you look to the industry, one of the challenges is AI. Another challenge is geopolitics and geoeconomic. It's moving. So basically, if you want me to describe how is the legal practice, we are on the top of sand dunes, and sand dunes it's here today, tomorrow is there. So it's moving. So what makes you stronger when you have a small, strong, resilience team who build alliance, strategic alliance with the other firm. For example, we have alliance in Oman and Saudi Arabia. We have alliance with you. We work with you, for example, in terms of DIFC. You argue for us. With that collaboration, first of all, you reduce the cost. You become more efficient. And this is the two things the client is looking for. They're looking efficiency, cost, and the bigger firm. When you go bigger, mean the cost will increase, and the cost or expenses are like cancer for the firm because it takes a lot of growth. And as well, AI is coming. AI will reduce a lot of lawyers' job, and a lot of lawyers will go outside of the job. So basically, you have two challenges coming.
Let's move to globalization, diversity, and the human side of law. So you've described law in the past as a bridge that connects jurisdictions, it connects industry, it connects people, and you move seamlessly between teaching in classrooms to sitting as an arbitrator to acting as counsel to lecturing to being on organizing committees of inaugural worldwide events. What has globalization taught you about the human side of the legal profession?
I think what we don't know that all legal systems are trying to achieve justice, and justice might have different face, but they are at the end of the day justice. I am sitting in the tribunal, and and the applicable law could be common law, could be Virginia law, could be Hong Kong law. I'm sitting now in a tribunal where it's Hong Kong law. But the thing is, applying the law is, it doesn't matter if you're coming from common law or civil law or Sharia law. Applying the law, because you will apply it rightly and you see what is right. Because law is not is the law it's contribution of human. It reflects our social, our economic, our thought, and mostly all human beings are having same thought.
Of course. Your firm prides itself, and it's clear you celebrate diversity, not just language or nationality, but also in thought. Why do you believe diversity of perspective is so critical in modern legal practice, so bringing the different viewpoints to the table?
I think because when you have a diverse firm, it gives you different perspective. Mitigation of the risk between female and male are different. Entrepreneurship, for example, the way we look to the issues is different and different angle. So when you have this diverse view, it will contribute, it mitigate the risk, it help you to provide a better service for the client.
Dr. Mahmood, you're a founder, you're an arbitrator, you're an ICC Court Member, you're a professor. What drew you to academia? And it's not money, I know that because I'm in academia as well. So why do you teach, and how does teaching shape your leadership?
I think one of things is my mother, because my mother always was passionate about studying. And she told me one day, I don't care if you become the most famous lawyer, but I care if you become professor at the university. So I felt like this is one of my obligation, because we forget there is a younger generation come and they need opportunity. And I appreciate in my career people who has given me opportunity and mentioned them, and I appreciate them. And the same thing, I think those young years needs. So that's why teaching, for example, this semester I have in UK in East Anglia 18 students or 19 students. I'm meeting them online. I will go. Those will become future leader. I'm nurturing the future leader of not UAE only, globally, because some of them they are from UK, some of them from Bangladesh, from Taiwan, I have from Vietnam this semester, from Kuwait. So you giving them the opportunity, and then after that, what I do actually, I bring two of them, the best performing student, to come to Dubai and expenses of their firm with the salary, to spend with us 3 months doing internship, because those are, you're giving them opportunity. You're embedding your idea to them, and this is very important thing.
I've met some of your students. They talk so very highly of you, and it's clear from just the way you're speaking to me how vested you are in the future generation and how much you believe in giving back, which is very admirable, because it is all about giving back. Where we've had avenues open for us, we open it for the next generation. How important is it, do you think, to mentor and have responsibility for the next generation?
I think mentorship, it's, as a word, it's a simple word, but to mentor, it's really take a lot of energy, a lot of times. You're bringing your experience, but I think it's a very, very important. Today, I was other day proud. So one of my students, she came approached me. I was working in the IFC, and she, Professor, do you remember me? I said, I kind of remember you because you forgot, because you have every
Yeah, so
semester.
many, yes.
And she said, oh, I'm working at the IFC and I've seen you other day arguing. I was so proud, and I told the judge, I'm so proud. I was taught by him. He's the best professor. See, this is for me. I don't have a daughter. And when she told it, I felt like I have a daughter. And she cared, and she's proud of
Well,
me.
you've left an impact, and that, in my mentality, is success. When you leave an impact on somebody, when they remember you, you've done your job. Whatever you've done it right.
I think I did, but I have to do a lot. And I learned it from my mother. I learned it working at the executive office, seeing all of those leaders, how they were spending time. Like, for example, His Excellency Mohammed Al Gardawi, he would spend time to sit with us. He would have a coffee with us. Sometimes he would take us breakfast to talk about our life.
It's fantastic.
What a kind of leader.
Yeah, but
See?
you've embedded those values of a leader. There's a
Yes.
difference between a manager and a leader. And a leader gives back and inspires and leaves impact and opens doors the same way you do for the next generation. And on that point, what's the vision you have, for the bigger vision for the next generation of dispute professionals in this region?
I think one of, dispute new young who are coming, they have to know how to, they shouldn't say we are a civil law. We are civil law, common law, Sharia law. You have to know the three system, and you have to know how to juggle from one system to one system, from one mindset to another mindset, from one legal tradition and culture to another legal tradition. And this is my advice to them. You cannot say today, if you are in UAE, I'm a civil law. You are a civil law, you are a common law, you are a Sharia law as well. So basically, the three system, you have to be the best on the three system.
What does leadership mean to you now after 20 years of building, mentoring, and shaping?
I think the most important thing in leader is a love. When you give the people love, show them the way, and this is, you pave the way for them. It's not about you pressurizing them. I remember one day a guy went to Dr. Omar bin Suleiman and the governance of the IFC, and he said to him, I didn't learn anything from my boss. He's pressurizing me. And do you know what he told him? He was complaining, and he listened to him for 5 minutes. He said, the best lesson for you, not to be like him.
Not to be like him.
So basically, that's things what I've seen in my life, the pressure the lawyers has sometimes, and I wanted more comfortable. And that's why I don't take many cases. I take a strategic case. We push, we work hard on it. But on the other hand, I don't want people to work at the weekend.
How do you personally define success? What does success mean to you?
I think success is, if you want to measure success is, for me, it's amount of people I love, people who are surrounding me, good people who are, I built friendship with them. Because this is, when you are 80 or 70, you don't care about the money, you don't care about, people will forget you on the phone. But what you would be, you'll picking up telephone and calling Sarah, calling that. This relationship, that this is success. My success is my relationship. I have a relationship in all over the world. I have in Hong Kong to London's, and I go them and they invite me with my family. And that's, for me, this is the success. Relationship is success.
Yeah, it's memories, relationship, it's all we take
Yeah,
with
because
us.
people pay money to build memories, to make the experience. And that's, for me, this is more important.
And now we're going to wrap up, Dr. Mahmood, and I'm going to give fire up reflections, quick answers. Give me one line or one word answers. What did you wish you know in your 20s?
I wish if I know that my wife is the best wife. So I could have married her when she was 18.
What's the biggest myth about success that you've encountered?
The myth is that success comes with the money. It's not necessary, because you might be successful, but you might not make money. But you have to embrace it and accept it.
And also there's a saying, isn't it, that some people are so poor, the only thing they have is money. That's not success.
Yeah, that's not success.
Okay. Who do you look up to and why?
In Dubai, I look to many leaders, because if you come in UAE, I look to Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid. Is one of the leaders who I learned visionary. I was privileged to work closely to him. I look to His Excellency Mohammed Al Gargawi, was a great leader, and he is continuing to be a great. In a legal field, I will look high to Habib Al Mullah. I look to Isam Al Tamimi. I look to Ali Al Aidarous as well. And there is as well international practitioners like Alika Merson. I have seen him, how he grew up. He's a legendary when it comes to arbitration in this part of the world, because I worked with him in a tribunal, was privileged, and I was like seeing him, how he's precise, to the point, very sharp mind.
Okay.
So those are kind of people like I met, and I look high to them because I learned from them.
What quote do you find yourself always saying or you stand by?
The quote?
A quote, yeah.
A quote, if nobody know how to do it, you have to be the first one to learn to do it.
Make that opportunity. What's the worst piece of advice you've ever received?
Worst piece of advice when I started my firm, and I had all of my saving, and I didn't have anything. It was 1 million. So the 1 million has to be for the office, paying my salary, paying my children's school, and my wife was not working because she was studying. So one guy came after 4 months and he told me, listen, the legal practice is shrinking and you will not get more. And this is a stupid idea that's become a lawyer. You were very happy vice president receiving a huge amount of money.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, better for you go back. And I remember 3 weeks I was not able to eat, or I was thinking, and I said, what I have done myself. So that's the worst piece of advice I got.
Describe yourself in 3 words.
In 3 words, I am generous,
You are.
loving, I'm sharp.
You are.
And
Definitely.
4th one, I'm a fighter.
Okay. And a principle that you will never compromise on.
Integrity and respect. 2 things. If somebody doesn't, my integrity is very important for me. Respect. If somebody doesn't respect me, for me, it frustrates me. Because the way I respect you, you have to give me respect.
What's a myth about the legal world that you wish people didn't believe or understood it doesn't exist?
There is many of myth about legal practice, actually, and some of them is like good legal advice. You need to spend a lot of money. I don't think this is a big myth, because you could find a good lawyer, quality of lawyer with a reasonable fees, without spending a lot of money.
And very finally, Dr. Mahmood, what is legacy to you?
Legacy is my students when they grow up and they become a leader, and then they say, oh, he was a good professor, he was a good human being. When they say good human being and good professor, this for me is my legacy. I don't care about anything. I would like them to say, and I would like my children to say, he was a good father and good
Inshallah.
husband as well.
And you are. Dr. Mahmood, it's been an absolute pleasure to host you today. Thank you for speaking from the heart. You've been very inspirational, as usual.
Thank you.
I know that our listeners and our viewers will listen very carefully to what you've said. You've given some very wise nuggets of information. Thank you for opening up and sharing your story and helping others who don't know where their paths are going. You provide an inspiration for the younger generation.
And thank you for trusting me and to bringing me and convincing me that this is very important, and as well because a friend of like you, for example, pushing me to share my story, that was very important for me as well.
And this is what this podcast is about. Sarah Straight Up, ladies and gentlemen, where we cut away the fluff and go straight to the heart and real life stories. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sarah.